Further debate? The member for Spadina-Fort York.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's so important that we speak about this issue because this is the #1 issue that I'm hearing from both residents and business owners in Spadina-Fort York. It's the unaffordability of Ontario in the wake of this pandemic, but it's the growing unaffordability that's been happening for decades. Businesses are continuing to struggle, particularly arts and tourism businesses, and this government is not giving any more support. People are struggling because of skyrocketing housing prices and food prices, gasoline and utility prices, and we have the highest daycare costs in Canada, and this government's refusing to sit down with the federal government and sign a deal like every other province in this country has done for $10 a day daycare. And you froze the minimum wage 3 years ago now, and that costs minimum wage earners $5,300 because you froze it below $15 an hour. You absolutely, that is the lowest paid workers in this province. You took $5,300 out of their pockets. And the impact of this unaffordability, I see it at the door. I hear it from constituents. Like last week, I met the Fraser family. And the person who came to the door was Marion Fraser. And she's a great-great-grandmother. And she's been living on the street where she lives for 81 years, as have all of the generations that followed her. And I met at the door 4 of those generations. The great-granddaughter, Amanda, has just had a baby of her own. But the family is concerned because housing prices have gone up so much that she's afraid that the family's going to have to move out of this neighbourhood where they've lived for 81 years. And yet this government has done nothing to make housing more affordable. In fact, they cut the Ministry of Housing budget by $161 million per year when they got into office in 2018. Another person that I spoke to is Tiffany Reid. She's a single mother in a condo in my riding, and she says her costs are exploding. Her utility bills have been over $220 some months, and she has to pay another $225 for parking, and her rent was raised in the middle of the pandemic. And so after all of these expenses, she is working extremely hard, but she is struggling to make ends meet for her and her daughter. Zach Greenwald wrote to my office and he said, I grew up in Toronto and there's nothing more than I want to be able to raise a family here, but it is so far-fetched, it doesn't seem like anyone truly cares. I have worked hard, I have a BSc degree and earn a decent salary, but despite all of that, I am burdened with student loans and insane housing costs that make a future in the city feel impossible. And business owners are echoing the same issues. They are saying that they need more government support. They need more government support to get through the rest of this pandemic. And so it's time for this government to step up and make housing, to make costs more affordable for both residents and small business owners. Thank you.